I would like you to tell us your story, your struggle at first, and it was related to COVID. But go ahead, you tell us your story. And we can
Oh,
that.
oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. It's so good to be here. And my, I'm going to actually preface my long COVID story with we, right before I got long COVID, I got COVID 2 years ago. But during COVID, during those 2021, in an 11-month period, we lost all of our parents. And it was an extremely hard time. As anybody, who has walked eldering to the end of their life and then walking them through COVID was really tough. And after I came through, my husband and I, after we came through that and life started opening up, I started getting sick. And what I know about my body is I can handle a lot of stress and I pay for it, right? Because there's just times one has to stand up and do it. So I'm the only sibling in my family. My husband lost his sibs as well. So bottom line is I got sick with some kind of bronchitis, whatever. And then I got COVID. And COVID wasn't that bad for me. It was actually, I wasn't that sick. I did lose my taste, but, I felt better in about 36 hours. And I was still tired and I was confused. And I never quit being tired. So that started the journey for me of, wow, okay, so what is this? Is this long COVID? I hear people have it, that whole thing into a new virus that we've all had this experience. And we are continuing to have this experience on how it affects different people. So the long and the short of it is, in about a year, I diagnosed myself. I'm retired now, but I'm a hairdresser by trade. And actually, that's when I came to Dr. Amigues, and I said, okay, so I was diagnosed by a hairdresser. Hello, myself. But my doctor agreed. Okay, sounds like long COVID. So about a year, I was really patient with it. And I allowed myself to relax, and I allowed myself. And it didn't quit. It just didn't stop. And I realize now, having gone through this internal work with Dr. Amigues and Maria, the wellness coach, and Christina, the dietitian, that I've lost patience and I got really mad at my body. I got really mad at my body. I was like, look, I gave you enough time, you better buck up. And that didn't happen. And I was just super frustrated. And I'm as you could probably tell, pretty gregarious, outgoing. I have a big circle of friendships. And all of a sudden, my life was very narrow. I'm in bed every afternoon. Some days I'm in bed for 2 and 3 days. I had certain aches and pains. The memory thing, when I was in those bad fugues, those really deep fatigues, got pretty distorted. And, gosh, I search for words at my age anyways, but even more so then. So I came into, I talked to my doctor about it. We started, I had started Medicare. And so on my first Medicare visit, she said, I see, we decided you had lung fatigue. And I said, it just changed my life. And, she really had no comment about it. And I realized then, I think it must be super difficult for a doctor to practice on a 15-minute schedule, because we're these wonderfully complex bodies of ours. So anyways, the long and the short, that's when I realized I'd been diagnosed by a hairdresser. And I didn't know if I had autoimmune. I didn't know what. And that's where I Googled up Dr. Amigues. And when I read everything about it on her website, UnabridgedMD, I thought, okay, this is where I'm going. My husband and I talked about it, and I started. And I'll never forget that first day of walking into your office, and sitting and talking to you just like I would any friend. And first thing you really struck me with was, okay, so you have a virus, like a cold sore. And any time in your life, a cold sore can come back. And speaking of virus, so how are you going to live? And I realized, okay, I have been in a pretty dark place that last year. I'm a grateful person by nature. And I'm like, look, I have all my limbs, I can see, all my grandkids are good. I have all this wonderful stuff in my life. I'm not that sick. And all of a sudden I realized in talking with you, Dr. Megan, I'll always be so grateful for you for this, that to look at me and say, what are you going to do? Like, oh, I have choices that I didn't know I had. Like, I can see this in a new way. So I told you, and I'm a writer, and I'm just going to read my first page. So I journaled through the process. I signed up for the 3-month, working with Unabridged, and just this was my first entry, January 21st, 2025. I have hope. I feel empowered, animated by the gift of life. I find myself in the moments I can't sleep, talking to myself with renewed mastery. Long COVID. With long COVID and the journey, I had forgotten myself. The fire of my being was banked. The years before felt pointless. Though I wasn't suicidal, not living long was okay with me. I am actually a bit embarrassed how I had given up. Though, as I read this now, I understand. To bank a fire is to cover with ash. The burnt out fire of my life, having hope, brushed off those ashes. Air kindling new wood, which I view as all the ideas you gave me, once again ignites me. I am renewed. And that's my first page. So what I have found in this process, affirmations and thinking positive is not foreign to me. And I needed coaching to have my back. I remember this summer this past winter watching the Olympics and thinking, these pro people still have coaches, right? I mean, these are the top athletes. And that's when I was really understanding I need help. And I didn't know where to go. And I was afraid to go to just any coach at the YMCA, for instance, because if you don't understand long COVID, and for me, it materializes as post-exertional malaise, so PEM, and chronic fatigue. Those are the heightened ones. I have some physical pain too, but those are the 2 biggest ones. And I was scared, to walk into a 25-year-old buffed young woman who could understand, look, 15 minutes is what I can do today, And so this team, the talking to you, that first session, and realizing, oh my gosh, like I said, the ashes were blown away. And it's like, okay, there are choices. And then working with Christine, who helped me with food. I didn't realize I was not eating enough protein to sustain me. And then working with Maria on what am I doing every day? And at first, it was as simple as, she gave me permission. She said, if you need to rest, rest. I'm like, what? I'm an American. I rested for a year and now I'm done. And it helped me to see, my body takes the time it takes to go back to wellness. life has lots of wonderful, joyful, and really hard events. And I believe if we could see the crushing effects of them on our body, gosh, we would be so much kinder to ourselves. So really, you, Dr. Amigues, and the other women, on a biweekly basis, in baby steps, took me through changes that, it's interesting. I was listening to the gentleman, was it Jay, that you interviewed, and he was talking about being in remission. And when I had talked to Dr. Amigues last, I had said, I think I'm 70% better. And she said, well, it might slow down a little bit, but it may not. And it did. I want remission. And I have, how do I want to say that? I've been giving a toolbox to help me know what do I need, or a first aid kit, let's call it that. What do I need in this moment to care for myself? And how much love can I allow myself like I do everyone else in my life? And, it's interesting. I'm just talking away. I'm going to say this before you stop. I had heard you ask, Jay, what did you get? And you and I've talked about this quite a bit. Because I have to say, even as angry as I was, and I didn't even realize it at having long COVID has been one of the best teachers of my life. I had to stop. I'm a doer. I love doing for others. I love going. I'm super social. I like to go. And I remember years ago looking at a dog I had sitting on the back patio, the sun, he was just sitting there and he was just looking. I don't know what he was looking at. And I remember thinking, wow, I wonder if I could ever relax like that. And now I laugh because long COVID taught me. It's a beautiful spring here in Colorado, and I sit out back with my flowers. And
I love this.
I am 75% better. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melody. This is, I'm going to share with you why you're one of my favorite person ever. And as everyone could hear, I didn't want to interrupt. I think your journey. Do you mind telling everyone how old you are?
I am.
Bracket.
67. I'm almost 68. Yeah, I'm almost. I'm what I call a young elder.
You're young. I think the reason, to me, that I am like you inspire me, is that it's very often we think, and I think and I can say that like maybe not necessarily as a doctor, but we think that people are set in their ways, and some people think so it's a common thinking. I know, and I do not know that it's real. But it is a common thinking that some people are going to be like, no, you've got to fix this for me, right? You fix this for me. And very often, actually, like the relationship I have with my patients, it's pretty clear that I'm giving them tools to empower them, because I do think that healing comes from within. What was so incredible with you is that one, it wasn't necessarily rheumatologic, it wasn't inflammatory. And so, I'm a little bit, that's my zone of genius is inflammatory stuff. It's autoimmune stuff. But what I saw that day was your willingness after 1 hour and a half to say, oh, wait, there is something, and maybe more than just one thing that I can change. And I saw that from the start, right? From the start. And this willingness of saying, I have agency on my thinking, I have agency on how I approach this condition, I have agency. And it's been just a pure pleasure to see you heal. And as you mentioned, you're 75%. I mean, for the auditors that are here, if you knew that you could get better at 75%, like what else can you do, right? And this is after what, 3-4 months? So imagine how much better you can be. And I love the discussion that you have when you're sharing about the Olympians. There's two things that I love about this comparison. Number one, Olympians to me show us what's possible, which means that the impossible is possible, right? Because they are showing us what our bodies can do, that are things that we could not even fathom to do, right? And their limits are constantly pushed by themselves or by others. So this is something that I absolutely love. And when I tell my patients, like, look, yeah, like if Olympians can do this, then we can get you to being, what the normal would be like, So that's the number one thing that I love. And I love what you said about coaching. So I'm a violinist. So the best violinist, the best musician, the best business people, the best anything really have coaches, the best doctors, the best, we improve constantly, right? And this realization of, yeah, I can do this myself. And I can actually get help. I can get coach. And I see my role as a physician as a coach. I've seen this for many years now. I feel like I'm the coach, and the most valuable player is the patient. You're the MVP on a team, right? And so when you mentioned earlier, I was difficult. I'm a difficult patient for any insurance-based model. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think just that the coaches were not the right one for you. And so, yeah, out of this, I think, if I want to summarize out of this, is there is something that made you think, I deserve better, and I deserve to find someone like the Olympians that can help me, because they're going to see what's possible for me and they're going to push me towards it. And that is what you found in the program that we offered you, so the Kickstart to Health. And you did the work. It's all you. We were just the coaches on the sideline, and as a coach, you can scream or you can just, show your hands. But at the end of the day, you are the person on the field. You're the person walking. You're the person doing it all. So, I really hope that the listeners are hearing the story, which is long COVID can be so tough. But I think any sort of chronic conditions that's changing your approach to your own body, where you're starting being angry at your body. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Right? And just allowing yourself, hold on, maybe today that is what the body can do, but tomorrow we don't know where we are at. And like realizing what you can do, realizing what this is offering you. When you said it was the best teacher, like long COVID has been the best teacher. So yeah, I think there were so many important information that you've shared with us. So I appreciate. Melody, what is something that you would like to tell yourself, maybe at the beginning of your journey in the long COVID? Like, knowing what you know now, what would you tell her? What would you tell yourself, like your younger self?
Yeah. Oh, golly, that brings tears to my eyes. What a great, I mean, yeah, I have a wide range of friendships, and I look at my friends who are in the, having kids and, professional lives and all that. And they look so tired and bedraggled. And I just want to say, oh my gosh, just if you could treat yourself so precious. So That's, and golly, I know I couldn't have told it now. Now what I could say is that to myself and to other people, look, maybe even just sitting in the sun with your coffee, 10 minutes before the kids get up, taking any little time you can to be in this precious, precious, precious body, as I would give, that's, and one thing I do want to say, I had, for some reason, a distorted view of what's sick enough to warrant help. Look, if this is chronic with you, and if all you're doing is sleeping, right? That doesn't sound terrible, but it is. It's not our body. You are worth taking the time, taking the effort, spending the money to have the rest of your life together. And that's the gift you gave me. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. Thank you. You are worth it. And I think that that's exactly it. All of us are worth taking care of our body. Our body is doing the best it can. And honestly, in rheumatology, very often, the vast majority of time, we've got incredible treatments. And you wouldn't know how often patients are, like, it's almost they're afraid to get better. It's almost, there's this idea that my body is failing me and I can't give this medication to my body because I don't feel like I deserve it. Right? It's almost like I'm failing. So why should I, I don't deserve this. And so that's the thing, like, you do deserve it. We all deserve it. And like, even if we put it as a universe, as God, like God's will, sometimes it's like, well, God's will wanted me to have this condition. And I want to say, well, God's will is also that we have all of those medications available to you. So if we are going into that direction, there is availability to a lot of drugs now. That don't mean that we're going to be on it forever. And there's all of this mindset work that we can do as well. That's super powerful as well. So Melody, thank you so much thank you so much for being you, for being so vulnerable with yourself, with people around you, for taking the steps to say, no, hold on. Yeah, like, there are things that I can do. And for sharing your process with me first and with the world right now. You are the proof that it is possible. And I think that that's really important for everyone to see this. This is UnabridgedMD. This is hope driven by science. There is science behind everything here. And what's the most important here is the hope. And I think you embrace, like, your story is exactly that. So thank you so much, Melody. And
thank you.
Thank you. And to anyone that's listening until now, I really hope you enjoyed this story. We were very lucky to have Melody share this story with us. If you have someone that would enjoy this, share it with the world, share it with other people, because this can actually change their lives. And either because they come to UnabridgedMD or because they see that there is possibilities, and then they don't have to be stuck in their own ways. And of course, if you are in Colorado and if you're looking for a rheumatologist, I would love to see you. And we are still accepting new patients. So come in, as we are still accepting new patients. And then until next week, we will go with another episode of UnabridgedMD. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and take care. And I see you next week. Bye-bye.